juicy, crispy, perfect pork belly. Here's how. Hey there guys, and welcome back. If it's your first time here, please hit the subscribe button, support the channel, but today we're talking pork belly, and I'm going to show you an amazing recipe that's going to make it nice and crispy on top and beautiful tender underneath. So first, onto your pork belly, we want to slightly score the fat side. Scoring literally just means making cuts, but not too deep. You want to make them about 1.5 centimeters wide, like this, and then turn the belly round, and you want to make the same again along the other side, so you're cutting it into like diamond shapes. Take your time with this, but you will need a sharp knife, it'll make it easier, but don't go too far into the meat, just make sure you're scoring the fat. And this is another secret in how to make it so crispy. You want to get a good amount of Malden sea salt. Do not be afraid of the salt. I'm going to rub it all over the pork belly. Make sure you get right into them little gaps. This is going to really help dry it out and make it nice and crispy. And now we need to make a bed for the pork to sit on. So half an onion, then peel it, and then slice it. And then we're going to do the same to a fennel bulb. If you don't know what a fennel bulb is, or what it tastes like, it's like a really intense aniseed flavour, like licorice. Is amazing, it's so fresh, especially when you get it in a bulb form. And then throw in the stalks as well, they're full of flavour. And then we're going to make it extra fennel-y by throwing in some fennel seeds. Then with the side of your knife, just pop 3 or 4 cardamon pods and throw them in. Then sprinkle in a good handful of black peppercorns and a couple of bay leaves. Then, in what can only be described as the world's tiniest pestle and mortar, we're going to grind up about 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. So just throw them in, give them a good crush, and then sprinkle them over the veg. Then crush, peel, slice, and then dice 2 cloves of garlic and throw them in. Then drizzle everything with some olive oil and season well with salt. Then we're going to take it to the hob and just start to sweat this off just a little bit. Just trying to get a little bit of colour. But when you've got that, you can lay your pork belly over the top. Try and tuck it in. As you can see, this one fit absolutely perfect. And then we're going to throw it into a preheated oven at 250 degrees for 25 minutes. This again makes the skin really crispy. And then you want to take it out and put it back on the hob. And to this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and about 1 litre of apple cider. You only want to be filling it up to just where the meat meets the fat. Don't let that fat sit under the juice because it'll just end up being soggy and not crispy. But then we're going to heat this up over the hob before you throw it back into the oven to give it a chance to actually get back up to temperature. So wait till you see it's all nice and bubbly and beautiful, and then stick it back in the oven at 160 degrees for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And so while that's cooking, we're going to make some sides. So into some boiling water, I've thrown a good handful of new potatoes, and we're just going to boil these until you can insert a knife nice and easily, and then empty the water, put them back into the pan, and we're just going to crush them with some tongs. And so once that's nice and crushed, just throw in a big lump of butter. There's no measurement, just throw it in, about 200 grams. Obviously that's going to get all nice and melty while it's still hot, so make sure you season it with some salt and pepper. And then we're going to chop up some spring onions, or scallions, depending on where you are in the world. So again, just give it a good mix around, and there you go, some nice buttery, spring oniony potatoes. And now it's time to take the pork belly out, and just look at that, look how beautiful that is. Nice and crispy on top, beautifully tender underneath. Just put it onto a wire rack and let it rest while we cook down the gravy. So take it back to the hob, turn it up onto a medium heat, and let it reduce just a little bit longer. You don't really need to add anything else right now, but once it's reduced, just pour it through a sieve into another pan and leave it to the side. But don't throw away all them beautiful onions and fennel, we're going to use them later on. And now for another amazing accompaniment, we're going to make a beautiful apple sauce. So slice up an apple nice and fine, and half a lemon as well. Then into a pan, sprinkle a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar. You want to keep it on a medium heat for this. We're just going to start to make a nice caramel. Don't stir it, but just kind of move it around the pan until it gets nice and caramelly. And then we're going to throw in about 1 tablespoon of butter. Give that a nice swirl around so it all gets all friendly with each other. And then throw the apples in. And again, chuck them around, coat them in that nice, beautiful, sticky, buttery caramel. You can see them becoming nice and glazed, so we're going to throw in the juice from half a lemon, a sprinkling of sultanas, and a sprinkling of chili flakes. This will give it a nice little kick. Then to finish off, a splash of rum, and that was meant to flambe, but for some reason the camera didn't quite catch it, but trust me, the flame was there. But you just need to burn that alcohol off a little bit, and then just reduce to your desired consistency. Then quickly to finish off, we're just going to cook some broccoli. So into a boiling hot pan, we're going to blanch some broccoli for 3 minutes, no longer than 3 minutes. And then tip the water out and run the broccoli under some nice cold water, or you can throw it into an ice bath. Then into a pan with a touch of olive oil, throw in the broccoli, and then add the onion and the fennel that you used to make the gravy in. Give it a good toss around, make sure you season it. So now all that's left is just to plate it up. So we've got our crushed potatoes, our beautiful broccoli, that sweet spicy apple sauce, and just some cherry tomatoes that I roasted up at the last minute. I thought they'd look nice. And then just pour over the gravy, let it soak into all them little cracks and crevices, and slice yourself off a piece, and then cut a little bit off for yourself. And wow, this was amazing. So tender and so crispy and so juicy. It was absolutely incredible. To be honest, I better stop eating this now because the family's waiting. But if you like this video, please support the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, do all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one, and remember to just keep cooking.